it's pretty safe to say. God give it, God take it away. It's the worldwide American way.
What's going on, team? Proof here, and today what I got coming at you is something a little bit new again. If you're not aware, every Tuesday for us, Bushiroad releases a stream that goes over like tournament results, product details, reveal some cards, have a stream fight, all types of various things like that. And I thought it would be cool to compile it and give you guys some of the highlights of it and just kind of discuss some of the things that I thought was interesting. So yeah, and before I begin, I want to give a huge, massive shout out to Kuro from my Discord, because he took the time out of his own life and out of his own schedule to translate these screenshots that I have coming at you, and without him this video wouldn't even be possible. So huge shout out to him for helping me out, and let's go ahead and hop into it. The first thing I wanted to go over was this pie chart going over the clan distribution from their Fighters Climax. From what I've been told and what I understand, is one of the bigger tournaments that takes place over in Japan, along with their Fighters Road tournaments, and usually has a decent to really good turnout, and a lot of different clans turn up. And from the most recent one that they gave information for, this is the clan breakout, as you can see on the screen here. And the big thing that I thought was cool was that Token Rambu had a 4% turnout. I think that's most likely it's on the wings of them getting the new set that just came out for them. And I don't know how much of a splash it's gonna make, but I thought it was really cool that they had some representation after not having much of any at all up until now. A big percentage of others, the GC Shadows is not surprising. Grand Blue had a decent turnout, even though Night Rose has been slipping in deck usage. 7 Runner has still lived on and thrived in the Japanese meta. So it was interesting to check out some of the different things and some of the different clans and the representation that they had coming up through here. And they also gave us the top 16 breakout, which I'm going to have on the screen. And we had, well, the first column with all the yellow is the top 16, which was 2 Genesis, Gear Chronicle, Arroyos, OTT, Shadows, Kagero, Nubatama. You can see all the rest over there. And I want to preface this by saying that I would take the top 16 here with a grain of salt, because what I know about the way that they do the top 16 is that first they take all the undefeateds and then they separate them out from everybody, because they automatically get into the top 16 or top 8, and then the remaining spots go to people that are high in the bracket, but they have a different clan from the people that were undefeated, if that makes sense, which would explain why we see all the various one-ofs in the top here. So I would imagine it will look different if they just took the straight up top 16. So definitely take the results with a grain of salt, because they air it more towards diversity. So even with that said, the top 4 ended up being Gear Chronicle in first and second, Kagero in third, and Grand Blue in 4th place. So a fairly atypical expected result. So nothing crazy floated to the top. It would have been cool to see, of course, my beloved Spikes in there, but also would have been interesting to see if like an Aquaforce or a Token Rambu could have floated up there, because they have some of the lower percentage turnout at these events. So it would have been cool to see maybe a Decklist on Twitter or something like that. But yeah, I thought it was a interesting dynamic that they have going on there. And we also have the winning Decklist from the Fighters Climax tournament here. And here's the Japanese list, but I'm also going to put the Decklist on the screen here with the images for you. And big shout out to the people that make the Vanguard Deckbuilder. I want to put the link to it down below, but it definitely made it much more easy to compile the list of cards together with the pictures on it without having to go to the wiki and download it and all that extra headache that goes on to it. They put it all together in a nice convenient spot, and I think it's really good for putting decks together, for tooling around with stuff, and then you can just showcase it off to people in a nice and economical way. So I want to give those guys a shout out and bring some traffic their way, hopefully, and let people take use of the service that they have. So here's the deck list for the gear player here, and it's a pretty typical Zodiac Time Beast list from what I've seen. Nothing really sticks out about it. Maybe the two Codals in the grade 3 spot, but other than that, it's really atypical list. So not one I'm surprised took it to and ended up winning the tournament. For the G Zone, as you can see, is pretty typical as well. It's interesting that Next Stage just kind of made its way into a 2 of as opposed to the previous 4 of as it always was because of Gear Groovy and now Gear Next being out. Of course, we got Avanar Phoenix and Split Pegasus and all that good jazz and whatnot. But pretty standard list, and I just wanted to put it together for you guys so you can see it in picture form without all the Japanese text with it. And the next caps I'm going to show you guys is from a Tri-3 team fight tournament that they had, where the winning team was OTT with using Battle Sisters, Gear Chronicle with an interesting ZTB or Zodiac Time Beast Time Leap hybrid list, and Grand Blue with 7 Runner. So first we're gonna give you guys the OTT list here. It looks like it was an interesting mix of Oracle because it got Snake in there for aggression and draw. Instant, they always wanted to enable having that grade 2 draw either through Sable or through Snake, which is cool. They also got Nana Say for the power. I can't remember what the card in the card next to Florentine does because I don't have the cards up in front of me, but I'm sure it added to the aggression and all the push through and the annoyance that is Battle Sisters. And as for the G Zone, pretty standard. They got the Stolens, they got the Ikikashimas, Gelato, which I'm not sure exactly what Gelato does in there. Then they got Amaterasu and all her G-Guard form and all that stuff. Or not all that stuff. All that goodness going on in there. Here is the Gear Chronicle list from the team tournament, and interesting that it's a mix of Zodiac Time Beast and Time Leap. I'll be interested to see how the person played out the deck, because I'm not too keen on how Gear Chronicle works when I'm in playing it, but playing against it I'm more familiar with it. So it'd be cool to see how the person utilized the mix-up of the two decks together, because I'm really a big fan of split focus decks that happen to work together when everything pans out. So I thought it'd be cool to see how it would work together. And here's the G-Zone looking very similar to the previous deck list. The main difference is that it has Warp Drive and Metallica Phoenix. So yeah, and then here is the 7 runner list, aka the deck that doesn't die, literally and figuratively, because Bushiroad has hit it 2 separate times, and both times it still finds its way into these top spots in these tournaments. So I don't know what they're gonna do, if they're gonna hit it for the 3rd time and effectively just wipe it out by hitting Night Spinel, which in my opinion and others' opinion is the most problem card in the deck, or they're gonna just let it keep on trucking. And of course this has the G-Zone for bluff purposes, because you don't want to just sit down and not pop out and not have a G-Zone on you, and then your opponent's like, oh, you're playing insert rush deck here, so they have an obligatory G-Zone here for bluffing purposes. This screen here, from what Kuro translated, is tickets to a Vanguard festival in Osaka, which is relevant for us only because this is where they would likely or are going to sell the new Night Rose and new Harry Strides that were featured, that you may have seen floating about, because they are promos, and this is where these types of cards are going to be available for sale from Bushiroad. Hopefully we're going to see something like this for us in the future in terms of it being released. I doubt it'll be in a festival setting, but hopefully in some type of limited or promo release or box topper type of release or something. So look out for those, hopefully, for those that are waiting for them, because they seem like, or they are pretty good cards / really good cards. And then this here is just a little Vanguard quiz entry thing. The only reason I put it here is because it has the Kazumi pin, and for people that like Kazumi or play Nubatama for Dominate might be interested in it, just in case it makes its way over here. So now you know a little bit more about it. And then these 4 screens I'm going to show you, we're not sure exactly what it's all about. Kuro told me it was just something about the 48th Vanguard elections. You can see in one of the screens the little red pack, which usually is denoted with a promo card, usually like the trigger campaign. So maybe it has another campaign that's gonna be ready to go on, or maybe it's just the results of a previous campaign. I'm not exactly too sure about it. I would err on the side of it's going to be a vote for a new campaign to come out, but that'll be something that remains to be seen in the future. And this screen here is for, on the left side we have the promo pack for tournament participation, which either can or does have full art Chrono Jet G in it. So it'll be nice way to garner tournament interest, get people out there just to get their hands on the Chrono Jet G. Hopefully we see something like this for us in the future, like more potent cards that are more easily accessible outside of reprints over again. So that'd be really cool. And then the right one is it's the tournament winner card, and this month is going to be Title Assault from Aquaforce. Hopefully Spikes get one. Wishful thinking, but we can hope for when December rolls around, when their set comes out. That'd be really fun. Maybe January, because it's towards the middle to latter part of December when the set comes out for us, at least. So keep hope alive. And then this last screen was just a little voting that they did for the stream fight that took place, which was the leaders versus the Messiah cards. I didn't tune in for the event because I had to leave for work. But from what I heard, I can't remember who ended up winning. I think Messiahs ended up winning, or I don't know. Somebody that may have seen the stream could let us know down below how things went throughout those games. But I thought it was just cool to see that the people that voted favor more towards the leaders winning over Messiahs. Just because I don't know if they voted because they think it's better or because they think it's cooler that it was going to win. But I just like to see these types of things with community interaction going on. But that'll do it for me. That covers all the highlights and all the interesting things that I saw or seen. And hope you enjoyed. I'm sure this was rough and clunky because it's my first time doing something like this, but it'll get smoother with time, I promise. So that'll do it for me. Look out for more recruit reports when Spikes get new cards. And until next time, guys, peace. Be easy.